What's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to another edition of Talking and Grubbing. Well, I know I've been away for a minute, but now I'm back. Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. The trilogy for the 2017 NBA Finals. The defending NBA champion Cleveland Cavaliers will defend their title against the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is the matchup that everybody's been waiting all season to see. We had to get through the formalities of the NBA's regular season and the NBA playoffs to get to this point. This will be the first time in finals history that the two same teams faced off against each other for the third straight year. Now, for those of you that's new to this budding rivalry, I'm going to give you the backstory. In 2015, the Golden State Warriors defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games to win their first title in 40 years. Then, they also tried to show people that their title was not a fluke by winning 73 games, which surpassed Michael Jordan's Bulls, who won 72 games in 1996. But then the Cleveland Cavaliers got revenge in the 2016 finals by making some history of their own. They became the first team to rally from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals to win their first title as a franchise and also break the 52-year drought that has plagued Cleveland sports for so long, thanks to Kyrie Irving's go-ahead three-pointer in Game 7. After that devastating loss, the Warriors added Kevin Durant to the fold to, of course, finally beat the Cavs, as well as get over that personal hurdle of losing to LeBron that has bogged him ever since 2012, where his OKC Thunder lost to the Miami Heat in 5 games. But enough of the formalities. Let's get into these matchups, which is going to be some great matchups indeed. Starting at point guard, Steph Curry versus Kyrie Irving. Now, a lot of people have said that Steph was injured last year throughout the playoffs and the finals, that he had a bad knee. But Steph has had a bounce-back playoffs this year. He's had some 30-point games, as well as some 40-point games, and he's definitely shooting the ball well in these playoffs. He's definitely become that guy alongside KD. But on the flip side, you still got Kyrie Irving. Now, excuse me, starting in these playoffs, Kyrie was having some bad shooting games. Matter of fact, his shoot percentage was not good. But as the playoffs have progressed, the more Irving has stepped up, especially in that Game 4 against the Toronto Raptors, which led the Cavaliers to go on sweep the Raptors. But he's definitely stepped up in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics, especially where he had that 42-point game. So, the advantage, these two are going to cancel each other out. Now, let's go over to shooting guard. Klay Thompson versus J.R. Smith. Now, Klay Thompson, throughout the playoffs these last 2 seasons, has been a beast. He's been shooting the ball pretty well from 3 and also getting to the hole. And we all know Klay is a great defender, especially on the perimeter. But in these playoffs, Klay Thompson has not been shooting the ball well. Matter of fact, he's getting 5 less shots than what he got last year in the playoffs and in the finals, respectively. But, hey, he can go off at any time. On the flip side, you got J.R. Smith, who can definitely shoot the ball as well. I mean, he hasn't really gone off in these playoffs either. But he's made up for it with his defense, especially on the perimeter against other guards. But once JR gets hot, then the Cavs are a tough team to beat. But I'm going to get an edge to Klay Thompson. Now, power forward, another intriguing matchup. Draymond Green, boo, versus Kevin Love. Now, Draymond Green, we all know 9 times out of 10 he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. If he's not, then I think it's going to be highway robbery. But he's definitely a first all-team defensive player next to your Kawhi Leonard's. But he has shot the 3 ball pretty well in these playoffs. But I don't expect to continue because he's not an offensive threat. That's why a lot of teams leave him open. You know, most of his shots come from double teams, passing, double screens. But Green cannot create his own shot. But I definitely love his passing ability in the post or even out on the perimeter. Now, Kevin Love, he's definitely stepped up in these playoffs. Now, a lot of people still are down on him for having a bad NBA Finals, but I think last year in the Finals, Love didn't have a great series because of that concussion more than Green's defense. I mean, come on. The man had 14 rebounds in Game 7. Yeah, he only scored nine points, but those 14 rebounds were big because, matter of fact, at least about 5 to 7 of those rebounds in Game 7 were offensive rebounds. But Kevin Love is starting to go back to his Minnesota days where he was playing in the post. He was, going, eating up the glass. And also along shooting the three, excuse me. But his first 2 years with the Cavs, he had just been relegated to a three-point shooter. I'm glad to see that Kevin Love is finally going back to Minnesota Kevin Love. So if Kevin Love keeps this up against the Warriors, then the Cavs are going to definitely be a tough out for anybody. So right now, I know a lot of people may call me crazy for this. I got to say it's even because the only reason why Draymond has done this to Kevin Love, play the head games and have this quote-unquote advantage, is because that he hasn't seen Kevin Love at his full best yet. So right now, it's even. Now, excuse me, I'm going to go to center. Tristan Thompson versus Zaza Pachulia. Although Zaza Pachulia is, a 7-footer, Zaza is very slow. And also, he's always been soft to me. Especially when he played in Atlanta and Dallas. I never, really felt Zaza as a center because, he's a big man, but guys blow by him and he's just so slow to react. Now, on the flip side, Tristan Thompson, the man has been a beast in these playoffs. He's one of the few that have survived the Kardashian curse, despite dating Khloe. He's been a rebounding monster. He's kept a lot of possessions alive for the Cavs, and he's also gotten a lot of putbacks as well. But what I'm very impressed with so far with Tristan, that he's been a pretty good free throw shooter. Yeah, he's 59% in the playoffs, but for him, that's a pretty good percentage at the free throw line, considering that most of his career he's been a horrible free throw shooter. So I think Tristan's rebounding, especially his offensive rebounding, is going to be pretty big. Now, yeah, he's not your traditional center. He's not the traditional rim protector that you need, but he can alter shots, if not block them. So the edge I'm going to give to is Tristan. Now, the matchup that y'all all been waiting, that y'all all going to want to see in these finals. LeBron James versus Kevin Durant. Now, KD has definitely been a beast since going to Golden State. Well, of course, he's always been a beast, but he's definitely been more of a beast ever since going to Golden State. And he's also bailed out Golden State on some possessions when they get stagnant on offense. Excuse me. He's been their go-to guy in the clutch, and, if he gets hot, then there's no stopping him, because people say he's 7 feet, but I don't think so. I think he's 6'10", 6'11", but he has a 7-foot wingspan. So, excuse me, it's a shame that Kevin Durant was left off the MVP finalist list. Now, on the flip side, you got LeBron James, the king, who has had the playoffs of his career. He's had most of his playoff games so far. He's had mostly 30-point games, with the exception of Game 3 against the Celtics, where he only scored 11 points, which we all know that's not him. But we know LeBron is still going strong at 32 years old in his 14th year, which most players regress by then. But he's just showing everybody that he's still getting better with age. We all know he's going to pass, create excuse me, open shots for his teammates, as well as, pass out of the post for his teammates. So, with this, these two are going to cancel each other out. But what's going to be an X factor in this series are the benches. Now, the Warriors have the bench in Andre Iguodala, who was the NBA Finals MVP 2 years ago, Sean Livingston, excuse me, JaVale McGee, also a couple young guys in Ian Clark, which is a pretty good bench, but I still think that bench that won them the championship 2 years ago is a lot better, because you had guys like David Lee, who definitely also turned around that series, besides Andre Iguodala, when he played those final minutes in Game 4 and gave the Warriors a boost, as well as Maurice Spates, who was not only just a good defensive big man, he could also shoot from the perimeter as well. But I digress. Now, the Cavs bench has definitely changed since last year. Last year, you had Timofey Mozgov and Matthew Dellavedova, which they both left in free agency. Now, they've been replaced by Darren Williams, Kyle Korver, Derek Williams. And Darren Williams, he's a veteran point guard who can definitely bring the ball up and also can make plays and occasionally get to the hole. A lot of people forget that this man was a 3-time All-Star as well as an Olympian, but he got lost in the shuffle due to his injuries. But if that wouldn't have happened, I think Darren Williams would definitely been an all-star a superstar point guard. He was already an all-star, but I think he could have become a superstar point guard in the NBA. Also, you got Kyle Korver. God, you definitely can't leave open, because if you do, 9 times out of 10 is nothing but net from the 3-point line. And also, Derek Williams is been a solid defender ever since he came here. He also has hustle. But Richard Jefferson, despite being 36 years old, has shown people he still got, especially in the regular season on that Christmas Day game where he dunked on Klay Thompson and Durant. So you can't sleep on Richard Jefferson because he's a very smart defender. But I'm going to give the bench edge to the Cavs. Now, oh, y'all got to excuse me. I think I'm catching a cold. I hope not. Now, I'm about to make my prediction. My prediction is the Cavaliers in 6. Yes, I said the Cavs in 6. They will be back-to-back NBA champions. Anyways, that's my finals preview. Like, comment, share the video. Matter of fact, you tell me who you think is going to win the series. Also, become a patron on my Patreon by making that monthly pledge. Till next time, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. Deuces.